I am 80 years old. My bank account has more zeros than I can count. I own properties in 3 countries. I once flew on private jets to sign contracts that changed industries. And tonight, I will eat dinner alone. In this house, when a glass falls off the table, the sound echoes down the hallway, because there is no one else here. My ex-wife took our children and left me decades ago. And just yesterday afternoon, my doctor looked at my CT scans and calmly told me that I will be tied to a pile of colourful pills for the rest of my life. You think financial freedom is the finish line. You think if you just push harder, one more deal, one more promotion, one more all-nighter, your family will thank you one day. You are wrong. After 80 years of building, winning, and losing, I am sharing the advice I wish I could give to my younger self. Because when you reach the end of your life, you realize that only 2 things actually matter. And I sacrificed both of them. Let me tell you the price. When I was 35, I was a regional vice president. I was like an addict, and my chips were my time. I remember a Friday night. It was my daughter's 7th birthday. I had promised to be there to cut the strawberry cake she had been looking forward to for a month. At 5 o'clock, I was packing my briefcase when headquarters called. A massive client was threatening to pull their contract. They demanded an emergency meeting immediately. My only thought was, the company cannot survive without me. If this tanks, my promotion is ruined. I called home. I spoke to my wife with this rushed, arrogant tone. I told her there was an emergency, to apologize to our daughter, and that I'd buy her a bigger present tomorrow. I didn't even give her time to sigh before I hung up. That night, I was slamming my hands on the conference table, showing off my absolute dedication. At 2 in the morning, I pushed open my front door, smelling of smoke and exhaustion. The living room was dark. On the dining table sat a half-cut strawberry cake and a birthday hat made of cheap cardboard. I felt a pang of guilt, but I forgave myself instantly. I told myself, I'm working this hard for them. Years later, I realized the ultimate irony. That company I thought couldn't survive without me. Less than 2 weeks after I eventually left, they promoted a guy 5 years younger than me. He took my office, sat in my chair, used my network, and the company kept running perfectly fine. Your boss can find a younger, cheaper replacement for you tomorrow. But the day you collapse, your family has no backup plan. We think we are so smart, yet we save our best, most patient selves for our clients in conference rooms. And we bring our absolute exhaustion and worst tempers home to the people waiting for us at the dinner table. You are investing your irreplaceable emotional capital into a place that will discard you the second you are no longer useful. People have this delusion that money can buy off guilt. When my company went public, I thought I was the perfect husband. I drove multi-million-dollar cars, bought my wife limited edition bags, and put my kids in the best schools. I provided everything money could buy. And that was exactly the problem. There is one memory that has been stuck in my chest like a thorn for 30 years. My wife was pregnant with our 2nd child. I was obsessively fighting for a massive government bid. On the day of her most important ultrasound, the one where you clearly see the baby's heartbeat and fingers, she stood by the door with this begging humility. She said, "Can you please come with me today? I'm a little scared." I didn't even look up from my email. I told her I had a meeting that dictated whether the company survived. I told her to take the driver and put whatever she wanted on my credit card. That afternoon, I won the bid. I popped champagne in the office. Then I saw a cold text message she had sent 2 hours earlier. The checkup is done. Everything is normal. I wasn't there to hear my child's heartbeat. That day, she sat alone on a cold hospital bench, watching every other pregnant woman supported by their husbands, while she only had a driver standing nearby. I thought a diamond necklace that weekend would wipe away the tears she cried alone in that corridor.
10 years later, we sat in a law firm signing divorce papers. I was still arrogant. I thought she wanted the money. I magnanimously told the lawyer she could have the penthouse and the cars. But she only took the absolute legal minimum. When she was packing her luggage, she ignored the closet filled with a decade's worth of designer bags I had bought her. Instead, she opened a drawer and took out a few worn-out manila folders. I asked her what she was taking. She turned to me with a completely dead, hollow calm. She said, "These are the receipts from every ultrasound, every blood test, and every pharmacy visit from when I was pregnant with both our children. Every single one of them only has my signature on it. This is what my marriage was for the last 10 years." In that moment, I felt like someone punched me straight through the chest. Do not think that buying a designer bag or moving into a mansion equates to love. Material abundance can never cover up emotional absence. When your partner is crying in the middle of the night, they don't need the numbers in your bank account. They need you, physically there, sitting beside them. I won the biggest contracts in the world, but I could never buy back the heart of the woman who once looked at me like I was her entire universe. If you are in your 30s right now, you probably think you are invincible. I used to be exactly like that. I treated my body like an ATM, making relentless withdrawals on my health. Until I turned 45. I was already divorced, spending a weekend with my 6-year-old son at the park. He saw a butterfly, ran across the grass, turned around and sprinted toward me with his arms wide open, yelling, "Daddy, catch me!" I smiled and bent down to scoop him up. In that exact fraction of a second, a tearing, agonizing pain shot through my lower back, like a freezing knife driven into my spine. My vision went black. I collapsed straight down onto my knees in the grass. I didn't catch my son. He was terrified by my twisted expression and burst into tears. I knelt in that grass for 10 solid minutes in cold sweat. I was a boss worth hundreds of millions, but because of years of sitting, herniated discs, and neglected health, I didn't even have the physical ability to pick up my own child. I wish someone had told me this at 35. Health is not optional. If your body cannot lift the people you love, your success means nothing. Take some of the time you spend staring at screens and give it back to your body. Go run, lift weights, not to show off your abs. Do it so that when your child runs toward you laughing, you can lift them steadily above your head instead of falling to your knees in agony, leaving them with a traumatizing memory. Health is the absolute prerequisite for loving someone else. Without a body that can walk, carry, and embrace, your love is just empty words. Strip away all the lies and vanity society forces onto you, and you will find that in this long journey of life, only 2 things actually matter. First, happiness. Are you genuinely, quietly happy on the inside?
Not the dopamine hit of buying a sports car, but waking up on an ordinary Sunday morning and feeling a deep, regret-free peace in your soul. Second, family and friends. When you are lying in a hospital bed, the subordinates who used to flatter you won't be there. The only people who will hold your hand are the family members you intentionally spent time with. Right now, I swallow 6 pills every morning just to make sure my heart keeps beating. I can buy the best doctors in this city. I can reserve an entire Michelin restaurant, but I cannot buy one warm dinner with the family I lost. When you reach the end of your life, when the tailored suits come off, you realize what real bankruptcy is. It is not losing money. It is having time and no one left who wants to spend it with you. If I could sit in front of my 35-year-old self, the man obsessed with KPIs, the man who thought he was irreplaceable, I wouldn't give him business advice. I would grab him by the shoulders and say one word: stop. Stop chasing applause from people who will forget your name in 5 years. Go home. Hold your wife's hand. Show up to the birthday. Sit in that hospital room. Run 3 miles. Sleep. Because one day, you will have all the money in the world, and you will trade every single dollar for one ordinary Sunday morning with the people you love. Time will not wait for you to be ready.